The Trumbull Golden Eagles come in at 7-1 after an impressive 34-19 victory over Richfield last week. Staples, for the second straight season, have lost their starting quarterback and will rely on freshman Jack Massey to help keep their undefeated season intact. A trip to the FCX Championship is what these two teams will be playing for today, and the only place to see all the action is right here on MSG Varsity in HD. It is a gorgeous afternoon from Staples High School in Westport, Connecticut, as MSG Varsity presents High School Sports Showcase in HD. Today, a crucial FCX football matchup. It's the Wreckers of Staples. They will host the Golden Eagles of Trumbull, and both of these teams are still very much alive in the FCX playoff hunt. And we'll take a look now at pretty much the four teams that are still alive right now. Darien, you see them towards the top with Staples and Trumbull. Basically, Staples wins, they will in. They will be into the FCX championship game. Trumbull, they may need a little bit of help. Alongside me on the call today is Wayne Morris. I'm Keith Irizarry. Thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, Wayne, before we get into really the crux of this matchup, let's talk about the QB situation for Staples.
Well, Staples, everybody's aware of what's been going on the last couple of weeks. For the second straight season, they lose their starting quarterback. This year, Chet Pagilek went down, and this was a kid that was leading an offense, a potent offense, both with his arm and, as you see here, with his legs. He's able to get it done on both sides of the ball as well. But this year, they have to turn, instead of to a veteran backup, they have to turn to a 14-year-old freshman named Jack Massey, who got his first start last week, and he came up big, going 7 for 8 and running for a touchdown as well.
All right, Wayne, let's get to our highlight players. And Phil Terrio for Trumbull. Boy, he could just do it all.
Well, do it all is without saying. Special teams, offensively, he's a terrific wide receiver. He's a matchup nightmare for the Staples secondary. He's 6'5", he can get down, up and down the field, and really cause a lot of matchup. But on the defensive side of the ball, last week, big play, 101 yard. That's right, Keith. 101 yard. Interception return for a score. So he's able to make plays once he gets his hands on the football.
All right, we move it along now to the home team for Staples, and Tyler Jacobs is a guy that we'll see him battling around in much different places.
Well, Tyler Jacobs is a star of this Wreckers offense, and everybody knows what he can do carrying the football as a running back. But because of the injury, they've gone to use the Wildcat, or their version called the Cheetah. So he's going to be a quarterback today, so he's going to be able to make an impact on the football game, both as a back and as a quarterback.
All right, it's Trumbull and it's Staples, and it's coming up next right here on MSG Varsity in HD.
Staples Wreckers! Staples Wreckers! Staples Wreckers!
Back here at Staples, as the Wreckers will face off against the Golden Eagles of Trumbull. Wreckers at 8-0, and Trumbull at 7-1. 61 degrees. Yes, you don't need to fix it. It's 61 degrees out there. It's sunny. It is gorgeous. And yes, it's November. Take a look at our head coaches. And for Trumbull, there's Bob Maffei, 13 years, 93 victories, a Andrew Ward graduate back in 1973. Over to the Wreckers we go, and Mars Petracchio's been doing it and doing it well for 18 years. 153 victories. He's got his team to an 8-0 record this year. We check in now with the third member of our broadcast team. Here's Chad Cutler.
Yeah, guys, one team hurting, the other not so much. An eerily similar situation for Staples to last year. Now, last year, week 6, their starting quarterback goes down, tears his ACL, done for the season. Just 2 weeks ago, their quarterback, Chet Pagilek, goes down, tears his ACL. Now their season rests on the young 14-year-old freshman, Jack Massey. And on the other side for Trumbull, they're at full strength for the first time in quite a while. So it's on one end injuries, on the other healthy. It should be interesting.
All right, Chad, thanks a lot. And it'll be Staples taking the opening kick. There's your kicker for Trumbull, Anthony Matera. Matera's been solid all year long. There's Strauss on the near side, number 32, and John Heil on the far side. He wears number 28. And we'll talk about this a lot throughout the broadcast, but this is pretty much a win and in game. The FCX Championship will be played on the 19th of November. But first, these two teams need to try to take care of business right here. It was taken by Gow, and he slips and falls. just outside the 20-yard line. So we'll get an opportunity to see the quarterback. Yes, Tyler Jacobs will be starting at quarterback today, running the variation of the Wildcat. They call it the Cheetah here in Westport. Those are your numbers for Tyler. Tyler threw the ball once last week, was 1 of 1 in the air. See Murray offset near side. Heil offset to the left side. Jacobs on the keep. And Jacobs not getting much doing. Take a look at the rest of the starting lineup now for the Staples Wreckers. And we see Nicholas, Gibson, Junta, Gendels, and Ventura on the offensive line. Your backs and receivers, Gow, Kelly, Heil, Mawicki, and Patton Murray. Nick Kelly, first game back from a dislocated knee that he suffered just a few weeks ago. Jacobs cuts it back inside and taken down by number 44, Don Cherry. While we talk about it, let's discuss this Golden Eagle defense, giving up less than 12 points per game. Posiello, Barnish, Monaco, DeWalt, and Wojtek. Linebackers, Lena and Cherry get it done. 2 juniors, Terrio, Durismi, Matera, and Millen. Third down, about 3 to go. Jacobs in shotgun. Gow offset near side. 4 wide receiver set. Gow's going to take it. Hit at the line of scrimmage. It'll be close, but he should be short.
Nah, Keith, I think he got it, and he did.
So the last little surge by number 44, Rob Gow, gets him over to the line of scrimmage. You know, Gow, one of those guys that he could be a fullback for just about any team in the FCAC. Took a step back this year. Said, all right, I'll just play defense. Coach didn't want to see him risk any injuries. Well, now you lose your starting quarterback, and you have your starting running back at quarterback. Gow will step in, and he becomes very important.
All hands on deck when the starting QB goes down. And you take a look at Staples, the way they start this game in the Cheetah, the Wildcat, their version of, and the freshman quarterback on the sideline. I think that's a good call. Let him kind of see the game, settle in, let the nerves get out of the way. And I'm not quite sure if he even told him yesterday or even this morning how they were going to start. And, you know, if it was me, I'd wait to the last minute, kind of let him get prepped, and then let my senior go out there and settle him down. And why not? I mean, Tyler Jacobs, you know, what do I always say? You got offensive players that get the ball in their hands. And so when you go to the Wildcat, you allow Jacobs to handle the ball more often than not.
So the winner of this game, yeah, they'll be playing more than likely next week in the FCAC Championship. Of course, that'll be MSG Varsity's Friday night live football game. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Wayne, you'll be there. I'll be there as part of the pregame with Mike Quick and Coach Fred Stengel. Here comes Jacobs. And Tyler Jacobs scurries forward for a gain of 11.
And why the Wildcat is difficult to defend is because instead of having a quarterback that hands the ball off and losing a blocker, now you have essentially the quarterback being the ball carrier, and you can match up now. So you're not down 2 blockers on a normal handoff, you're down 1 blocker, so you can attack more effectively, and a lot of misdirection.
At what point, you wonder, will Trumbull just start packing the box? Here's Gow. This kid just keeps those legs churning. Wayne, would you start bringing eight into the box when you're seeing number 24 and 44 coming at you like this?
It depends on how I feel about my corners, but first things first, you got to stop the run. And when you're giving up holes that size, Keith, it doesn't matter if you bring an extra guy in the box if your front 5 is getting pushed out of the way like you just saw in that last play. But to answer your question, you know, if you trust your corners and you play man-to-man and you're not afraid, then you bring everybody up, because that's what you're exposed when you pack the box. You're leaving people out there one-on-one with no help over the top.
Jacobs, straight run. And Tyler Jacobs goes forward for yet another first down for the Wreckers. Going to see a heavy dose of Tyler Jacobs today.
we saw Coach Petraccio during the week. I asked him a very specific question. As far as Tyler throwing the football, what is his range? A realistic range. And he said about 20 to 25 yards. That's where the extent of it comes. He can throw the ball further, but when I'm talking about range, Keith, I'm talking about authority on the ball, accuracy, and making sure that you can complete the pass.
Murray comes near side. A couple of players shifting, and this is going to be another timeout for Staples. So early on, Mars Petraccio uses 2 timeouts in this first quarter. You can imagine that you have a bunch of new guys in some new positions. You may need to call those timeouts. High School Sports Desk brings you an hour of the latest in high school sports. Join Jared Greenberg and Sean Ryan live for a full hour of all the sports and stories in the tri-state area. For the most up-to-date coverage of high school sports, tune into High School Sports Desk weeknights at 6 p.m. and immediately following the game. And of course, it's only on MSG Varsity. There's Phil Terrio, and now we take a look at Pat Murray, the senior, headed to Yale. Will be playing football there alongside another senior from Staples, Chris Coyne. Our own Steve Gelbs, earlier in the year on a quick 60, sat down with Chris Coyne and Pat Murray, and what a great story. These two guys have just built themselves into great football players. They're both very good academically, obviously, and they both got accepted to Yale. Jacobs hands it off to Gow, and he trips forward for a positive gain.
Well, Yale University will get 2 outstanding students, 2 quality young men, and last but not least, 2 very sound, good football players.
And Rob Gow, he'll be headed to Trinity, so he'll continue his football career. Going to play some lacrosse there as well. There's Rob Gow, one of the seniors, one of the captains. Had a touchdown last week on the ground. Clock rolling as we go underneath 8 minutes. Heil comes in motion, near side. Going to be Gow once again. Wrestled down by DeWalt. DeWalt got the first hit on him, actually. Finally taken down by Matera.
Good surge by the Trumbull defense. Able to get a stalemate, and then you see Brian DeWalt come in from the corner, around the edge.
3rd down. About 4 yards. Clock rolling. A little bit more than 7 minutes. Opening drive of this FCAC matchup. Jacobs fakes the pitch. Tries to cut it back inside, but he is met by a host of white jerseys. Saw Wojtek there, number 73, as was Matera.
Yeah, watch the fake. Tom Pasilio's there. Look, got quarterback, he decides to take the pitch man. Luckily for Pasilio, the rest of his defense was there for him, because you teach your defensive ends when that quarterback comes down the line to hit the quarterback, and he jumped on the fake. Luckily for him, his linebackers were there for him.
10th play of the drive. It's 4th and 3. Pitch near side. Got to get to the edge. They do. Here comes Heil. John Heil spins forward inside the 10-yard line. 23 yards on that hitch and run.
Take a look at Jacobs. Good decision. Pitch the ball out. And right, the missed tackle right there by Matera. And John Heil using that speed to pick up the first down.
Jacobs will fake it. Tyler keeps it. Gain of about 4.5 yards, down at the 5.
And what you'll see from Staples, we know about Jacobs. You've talked about Gow. We just saw Heil run the football, but there's also Nick Kelly can run the ball. Sophomore gets some action. And then Rob Herman also gets some action. So you're going to see a number of people touch the ball.
Jacobs fakes. And he will go forward as he breaks through. Staples, they strike first.
But while you have a depth of running backs, it's always good to go with the number 1. Have him run the football, and this is not an option here. He's just gonna play fake and follow Gow right up the middle. Missed tackle there by Brian DeWalt. Had a chance to get him a couple yards in the backfield.
Mawicki's kick is good. And Wayne, just like that, Staples takes the better half of this opening quarter. And they go in for the score.
Good block by Gal. So it's a play fake. Fakes the ball to Gal and then follows him right in the hole. And an excellent block by Rob Gal. Opened up that hole. And Tyler Jacobs. Been there before, Keith.
Yeah, been there a time or two, huh? Or 10. 12 plays, 78 yards. 6 minutes, 11 seconds go off the clock. Now Trumbull will have to try to answer back. There's Bob Maffei. Been in games like this before. Last big game they played against Staples was back in 2005 when they knocked off Staples in the FCAC championship game, 14-0. But as of late, it's been all about the Wreckers in the FCAC. Obviously defending FCAC champs. We had that game on MSG varsity last year when they knocked off Bridgeport Central 14-10 after trailing 10-0 at the break. And there's Jason Mawicki, who just sent the PAT in. He'll come on for the kick. Taken at the 15-yard line by Millen. Millen being stretched out and taken down by Heil.
And I tell you something right there about this young man when he's back there running kicks as a quarterback. Coaches talk about how he can do just a little bit of everything, and he does it all well.
You like those guys, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, if you're a high school football coach and you have athletes that can do more than one thing, it makes your life a whole lot easier because it's awfully hard to find a lot of depth at the high school level in terms of position by position. You see a lot of star players going both ways.
There's Brian Gallo. He gets the start at quarterback. Nowhere to go against this vaunted Staples defense. Rest of the offense for the Eagles. Roman, Testati, Real. Ormsby gets the start at guard, and Perazzo. Backs and receivers, Pausiello, Lombardi, Cherry, DeWalt, and Phil Terrio, player we talked about top of the broadcast. 2nd and 8. Gallo drops back, looks to the air, completed at the 35-yard line. Easy play to Pausiello. And now for the defense. The records, 24 interceptions, 26 sacks on the season. Coyne, Gibson, Gendels, and Pat Murray. Linebackers, Zelkowitz, Gal, Lewis, and Matt Yeager. And your secondary, Jacobs at the safety spot, and Strauss and Robbie Herman are your corners. 3rd down and 3. Gallo tries to follow Lena, will get to the outside. He'll have a 1st down and more before going out at the 46-yard line.
And unlike Staples, Trumbull is very deep at the quarterback position. You know, they've got 2 players in Millen and Gallo who play a lot, and both make big contributions in slightly different ways. But you know, Gallo, as you see him running a football, coach, he likes his scrambling ability. He can make plays with his arm. So both of these quarterbacks very dangerous in the pocket and out of the pocket.
There's Brian Gallo, the senior. Hands it off, coming near side. And not much doing for the Golden Eagles. Maybe a gain of 2 or 3 for Nick Lombardi.
Brought Lombardi from the right side in motion as a receiver, and they gave him a handoff, went on the counter, but Chris Coyne, offside defensive end. We talked about him already, did a nice job staying home, slowing down that play.
2nd and 8. Fake the handoff. Gallo is met by number 44, Rob Gal. What a play by Rob.
Saw his strength as a fullback. Now you see his speed and reading ability as a linebacker. Did not hesitate a moment. Saw the quarterback, play action, the play fake, and decided, I'm going now.
Loss of 3 on the play, 3rd and 11. Gallo looking to the air. And the closest one to it was Greg Strauss. And Trumbull will be forced to punt. Not a great series for Trumbull. They did get a first down, though. Gallo takes the walk off the field. Jacobs is set back deep as Matera comes on to kick. Tyler Jacobs, also a Mr. Do-It-All for the Records. High snap. Matera boots it low. This will be an excellent punt for Trumbull. It'll die at the 10-yard line.
Down at the 10-yard line where the Records will begin. 1st and 10.
We are live throughout the areas in Connecticut. We're coming back to you once again on Thanksgiving morning, 10:30 a.m. live for Rivalry Day. New Canaan, the Rams taking on the Blue Wave of Darien on Thanksgiving morning.
Talk about New Canaan. Only got 1 loss, and that was on the gamble. Like Lou Marinelli, go for 2 instead of going for 1 and sending it to overtime against St. Joe's.
Jacobs will hand it off to Rob Gow. He'll go nowhere. Zach Wojtek, number 73, was there. Great first drive for the Staples Wreckers.
And out of the Wildcat, or the Cheetah, as they call it here in Staples land, and Tyler Jacobs doing it all. Deal on the outside.
John Heil got to the outside, 23-yard run.
Tyler Jacobs bringing it in from inside the 5-yard line. Picked up a great block by Gow.
Early on, I got to ask you your impression on Tyler Jacobs as a quarterback. After this play, give me your impression on Jacobs as a quarterback right now. Here's Tyler to the outside, the pitch, over to Heil, spins it back inside, and then a gain of a couple.
Well, as a quarterback, we haven't seen him throw the ball yet, but as far as a quarterback running the offense, in this case, the Wildcat, he's done fantastic, and the biggest thing for me in this offense to see him do is pitch the ball, particularly to his offhand, and he's done that very well. He's been able to pitch the ball to his right, and we saw the big carry on 3rd down for a big gainer to get him inside the 5, and then the decision going left. So, to me, that's what has stood out so far about Tyler Jacobs at the quarterback position in this Wildcat offense.
3rd and a long 5, short 6. Jacobs waits it out, pitches to Heil, and Heil will have another first down.
I tell you what, Trumbull's defense better make sure when you're facing an offense that runs the option to the outside that you maintain your responsibility, because I tell you what, John Heil so far, when he's touched the ball on the edge, the speed he's shown, and if they don't cover the pitch man right there, if Terrio does not make that play, Keith, he's off to the races. So when you face a team that likes to run the option.
There he is, the 14-year-old, a freshman, 5'11", 155 pounds. Jack Massey was 7 of 8 in the air last week. Handed off to old familiar, number 2-4, Tyler Jacobs, taken down by Monaco.
And for Jacobs, running the football is a big difference when you line up as a running back as opposed to the quarterback in terms of running the defense, because now you have to take the snap, your steps are different, and when you're at the halfback position, you can take more traditional steps and really focus on reading the defense as opposed to worry about catching the snap. So Jacobs is going to get a chance to run the ball an awful lot here today.
Massey will now come under center. Hands it off to Jacobs. Spin move, loses his footing. There was Wojtek once again. And it'll be close to
big
when they spot this. This may be the final play of the first quarter.
And it was big. Zach Wojtek.
That's a big boy, yeah? So it'll be 3rd and 7. That appears to be the final play of the first quarter. And it was a quarter that was dominated by Staples. Obviously a 7-0 lead, but also time of possession. They led the way pretty much the entire first quarter. So the Staples Wreckers and the Trumbull Golden Eagles A 7-0 advantage for Staples. We step aside. Second quarter action coming up. Keep it locked right here on MSG Varsity in HD. We welcome you back. Start of the second quarter. Let's check in with Chad Cutler.
Yeah, Keith, I spoke with Trumbull head coach Bob Maffei, and he told me an outrageous story. He said this past summer, he went on a cruise with his wife in Honduras. He went swimming, got bit by a shark. Now, while he got bit, a fisherman saw it, jumped in, killed the shark, and made a necklace out of it. And then he said, I'm just joking. But he does carry shark cartilage in his pocket for good luck. He said, that is my good luck charm. Keith, what's your good luck charm? What makes a good broadcast?
Wayne Morris. Wayne Morris is my good luck charm.
There you go.
I bring him with me to every football game.
There you go. And look at the results. We've had fantastic games all year long.
Yeah.
I think we've had maybe one-sided game. That was the Darien Fairfield Ward game. Other than that, it's been close to the best.
3rd down and 7 as that pass was batted down by number 5, Tom Pausiello. I'll tell you, by the way, Chad Cutler, he can be a good luck charm. He's gotta, we need him for one full season. We'll talk about him next year, right?
Pausiello coming off the edge. Can't get there, but does a nice job getting his hands up in the passing lane. But Keith, back to that story. See, you knew, if I was telling you that story, you would know immediately it's a lie, because there's no way I'm getting in the water with sharks. So there's no way I can get bit by a shark to have someone kill the shark and come home with a prize.
Bob Maffei, great storyteller. There's Phil Terrio, set back deep on the 40-yard line. Low punt. He'll take a bounce over Terrio's head. Retreats, picks it up at the 19-yard line, looking for a block. Not much doing. And he is brought down. I believe that was Zelkowitz. It was. Joe Zelkowitz, the sophomore, 5'9", 155 pounds. Let's see if Trumbull comes out with Gallo or Millen at the quarterback spot. Time of possession. And that was for the first quarter, so you see Staples dominating there. Here's Gallo. Running away from Coyne. Gets by. Gallo now looking forward. And will go down north of the 25-yard line.
When you have two quarterbacks that can run and scramble and throw the ball, you have to maintain your pass rush lanes. And right there, you see Coyne get too far inside. It's a clean block right there inside the tackle box. You can get him on the back if you choose to. And you see Gallo gets out of bounds and made something out of nothing. And looks like it's about a second and about 2.5.
You know, Millen was supposed to be the starter this year. Ended up going out with a concussion. Missed a few games. Gallo came in, played very well. Millen hasn't necessarily lost his spot. It's just more of he's focusing on defense. Here's Gallo. Cuts inside. Flags fly. 2 flags go down. Gallo upended at the 35-yard line. This should be coming back.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get Matt Lena, number 34, on a hold. You know, when you have a quarterback that can move around, as a pass blocker, you need to know that you sometimes your quarterback's going to put you in a bad position because they move around. You got to learn not to hold because he can get away.
On the offense, it's a spot foul, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 2nd down.
To the right of your screen, you see Lena picking up the blitz right there, and you know, it's a little questionable on the takedown, but it looked like when he was on the ground, he might have reached up and grabbed a little bit of the jersey.
I thought he got some of the jersey.
Wasn't as bad as it looked, but nonetheless, it was a hold and backs up the Trumbull offense.
2nd and 20. Gallo, bubble screen. Terrio in space. Here's where he's dangerous. Phil Terrio gets a large chunk of yardage back. Taken down by Gibson.
Second down and forever. You can go find your best playmaker out in the flat, like you said, bubble screen, and watch the move right here on Gal. Got him away. Picked up a big chunk of that yardage back. Puts him in a 3rd and about 4, Keith.
Very manageable. Here's 3rd and 4. Gallo dumps it out once again. This time it's Cherry. And Don Cherry, the junior, will have a first down.
Had a couple options. Purcell was open down the field. Came off of him. Found Cherry. Check down. Nice, safe completion.
You know what I like, too? He looked off the receiver just enough so that Coyne wouldn't jump up and be able to knock that pass down. 1st and 10. Here's Cherry. Met at the line of scrimmage and goes forward for a gain of about 2. Last week, Cherry had a rushing touchdown as well as a receiving touchdown. 2nd year on the varsity. Give him 3 on the run play. 2nd and 7. Gallo in shotgun. Gonna dump it out once again. This one may have actually been tipped by Coyne. Still brought in by Cherry. And then Herman was there on the tackle.
Good job by Herman. Dropping in his coverage. Sees this play in front of him and comes up and makes a good stop on a big, tough, strong runner in Cherry.
3rd down, about 7 yards. Matt Lena offset to the near side of the running back spot. He'll pick up Coyne on the blitz. Across the middle, completed. Brian DeWalt, first down. Lewis was there, number 42.
Good read by Gallo. Staples playing too deep down the middle, dropping their corners deep. So instead of getting greedy, he finds his receiver short and over the middle. He's able to pick up the first down. See everybody dropping, Keith? Does a nice job of waiting for DeWalt to come into that window right in front of him.
Low snap, long drop by Gallo. In and out of the hands of the receiver, cutting across. Just into the game, Brendan Moore.
And Brendan Moore, you saw it towards the end, could have had the chance to catch that football, but almost took a huge shot. Young man needs to read the coverage. Thought it was man, but it was zone. Running across the field. Needs to settle down, avoid that big hit.
Real nice electric feel here. Across the middle, DeWalt taken down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, coming into this game, Keith Staples was concerned with the secondary versus the Trumbull receivers. They felt that they were outmatched from a size standpoint, and you see them playing very soft, dropping deep. Obviously don't want to give up a deep ball. And for Gallo and Millen, when he gets into the game, they need to be very patient and just take their shots in the short zones, in the flats, work it down the field, and then make them come up, and then you'll have your deep ball later on.
Here comes the blitz, and how do you beat a blitz? Hand it off up the gut. There's Matt Lena on the carry.
See the blitz coming off the corner, but the handoff, fortunately, is quick inside to the opposite side of the formation and away from the blitz.
2nd and 7. Fake the handoff. Straight run by Ian Millen. Check that, that was Gallo.
Good job, faked the front 7, but the secondary comes up. See Herman misses the tackle, but slowed him down enough.
Third and about 4. Exactly what Trumbull needed. A long, nice, sustained drive. Gallo. Well, everything parted right up the middle. Look at the space for Gallo. He'll have a first down and more. Out of bounds at the 25.
I like the quick decision. Right now, gone. He sees the lane, off and running, and watch the stiff arm on Herman. Get out of my way, son. And he gets out of bounds. You want your quarterback to make quick, confident decisions. Sometimes they're going to be wrong, but you don't want them hesitating. You don't want them taking their time, holding the ball.
Rolls the pocket, looks into the flats, completed pass.
Trumbull has this all afternoon, Keith. They just need to be patient, and they can continue to move the ball as Staples is giving up the short passing game. And they're not getting any pressure on Gallo. So he has all the time in the world to sit back there in the pocket and find his tight end, find his backs in the flat. And that's what I'm seeing right now. Brian Gallo doing a nice job of taking what the defense gives him.
2nd and 6. Gallo on the keep, and Rob Gow is there once again.
Actually, it was Ian Millen in the game now, Keith, and first time he's taking the ball and doesn't have a chance. And sometimes that first time you're in the game, your speed is a little slower than what's happening in the speed of the game, and you saw right there.
You don't have your sea leg yet.
No, absolutely not. Sometimes you want to get hit first. Well, Rob Gow took care of that. Gave his first hit.
3rd and 12. Millen stays in the game. Looks to the air. Completed pass inside the 20-yard line at the 18-yard line to Tom Pausiello.
Flag down in the backfield, Keith. Might have a hold.
Our officials, Tom Brown, Tom Sportini, Kevin Mariscondo.
I'm holding on the offense. The 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
John Inesta and Anthony Smith. So the hold will knock that play back. And that hurts. So now Millen will stay in the game, but Gallo also in the game. So we know both of them can run, both of them can throw. Millen sent out of the backfield. Gallo looked like he was looking up top to Millen. Saw nothing but blue in front of him. Coyne and Murray. That looked like a play where the two DNs right before said, all right, I'll meet you at the quarterback.
And next fall they'll say, I'll meet you in the cafeteria. Yeah, so they're going to school together. So yeah, you're right. They said, I'll meet you at the quarterback. And there's a lot of defensive end combinations around the country and every level talking about, hey, I'll meet you in the pocket. And that time, Gallo, we talked about making decisions, hesitated a little bit, double clutched, and when you do that in the pocket with the rush coming at you, tough to get that play off.
Matera will come on to punt. Jacobs set back, feet planted on his own 10-yard line. Punt will roll. Will go inside the 15-yard line, touchdown at the 12, and we check in with Chad Cutler.
Yeah, Keith, Trumbull may not have put together any points on that drive, but they certainly got some emotional points. The team seemed to really respond to that. Everyone is a little more upbeat, and they're seeing that they can actually drive the ball on the Staples defense.
You know, Wayne, you talk about that emotional lift. How important is that for a team like Trumbull?
Well, very important because you saw the numbers. Staples had the ball over 9 minutes on the one drive scored. You had a 3 and out, and now you get the ball back. You need to do something to get in the flow of the game. So it's very important from an emotional standpoint, but also for their flow and rhythm.
Massey is in, handoff right to Jacobs, and well, Rob Gow did well on the defensive side. He wears number 44. Don Cherry also doing well on his defensive side, wears number 44.
Yeah, the junior, first year getting the start on varsity, and this is a tough-looking junior. So obviously they'll have him next year as well, but they're focused right now on this year in this ball game. And Don Cherry, very physical, strong kid.
When will we see Massey throw the ball? Not on this play. Handoff is to Tyler Jacobs. Maybe that's why. Hey, keep feeding number 2-4.
Football's a game about adjustments, and first drive they had the Wildcat with Jacobs, went up and down the field on them, and now they get back on the center. Bring in the freshman quarterback. You see Jacobs again off the left side this time. So Trumbull's made some adjustments on the defensive end. Staples counters by going back to the base formation.
They run what would be called a Florida spread.
But eventually the young man's going to have to throw the football.
3rd and 4. Won't be on this play either. Jacobs gets to the edge, cuts it back inside, down to the 29. We keep saying eventually, but until Trumbull can stop the running game of Staples for 3 consecutive plays, they'll keep doing
Inside
this.
handoff, and Jason Mawicki, number 3, with a terrific block on the outside. And Keith, you know I love it when those wideouts do more than catch footballs. Look at the block right there by Mawicki. That allows him to pick up a clean corner, allow him to turn the corner and get upfield. See Tyler's numbers right there, 11 carries, 55 yards, and a score.
I know in your day at Hofstra, you used to get out there and lay some blocks. Jacobs taken down by Barnish.
I played in the wing tee in high school, so you don't play halfback.
You don't block, you don't play, right?
Exactly. So it toughens you up.
Fast-moving first half. Clock rolling as we near 2 minutes in the second quarter. Some long drives by both of these teams. Staples, though, has the 7-0 advantage. Massey. Looked like he had the option of running that himself. He didn't look like he was sure whether to hand it off or not.
He looked like he wanted to take it back, but Tyler said, young man, I'm keeping this one. That happens a lot on the option. Watch right here. Looks like he wants to pull it.
Who has the ultimate decision on that?
Not the quarterback, absolutely. But sometimes, and I've been there, sometimes the ball carriers will clutch down a little tight, and, as a quarterback, you have to let it go, otherwise the ball's going to end up on the ground.
3rd and 7. Let's see the 14-year-old's arm. Oh, boy. That was a very catchable ball for Staples. It was James Fasanti who got out there.
And James has to help the young 14-year-old out. You know you're not going to get a lot of opportunities. Look at this ball. This ball's thrown perfectly into the inside and tailed a little bit back over his outside shoulder, but that would have been a terrific catch. You see the ball sails back over his outside shoulder just a little bit. Jack gets more comfortable throwing the game situation. He'll throw that ball up the field, leading him down the middle, and will get a completion next time.
Mawicki with a booming punt. And the question is, where did it go out?
Yeah, and there's the walk by the official.
Walk it off. It looks like the 23-yard line. Let's check in with Chad again. Chad, what's up, man?
Yeah, guys, one of Massey's biggest supporters on the sideline, and you always see him talking, is Chet Pagelik, the guy who he replaced. He said, listen, when I was 14 years old and a freshman, there's no way I could be doing what this Massey kid is doing. He's special, he's talented, he has the right mental makeup to be successful in this offense.
You know, Wayne, you and I also talked with Chet earlier this week when we came down to a Staples practice, and he really seemed like he's focused. He learned from what Brandon Basilio went through last year, being the mentor to Gelman, and he's trying to be a mentor as well to this freshman. Handoff is to Don Cherry.
And he has a tougher job because Gelman was Basilio's best friend since the time they played
back to 8th grade.
At the 8th grade, and he was his backup since then. So, and he was more experienced in game action. He was older. They were both seniors. But Pagelik has a freshman who's never, 14 years old. You come here, you think you might play in 2 or 3 years, not 2 or 3 weeks. When you're on the varsity, you don't expect to play your first year at quarterback.
And the clock is rolling. Trumbull not in a hurry. Trailing by 7, 2nd and 3. Cherry taken down. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
A little surprised by this because you have 2 quarterbacks that can throw the ball.
And Staples.
You got a wide receiver like Terrio who can take it the distance.
Staples had the ball to start things off. They score in their opening drive. So Trumbull, they choose to, will have the ball to start the second half.
And they have that in their back pocket, but just a little surprise. And when you have the better thrower at the quarterback position, more experienced, both of these guys, more experienced than Massey, and you figure you take advantage.
17.6 seconds remaining in this first half. The Staples defense that has allowed just 86 points all season long. 24 interceptions, 26 sacks on the year. On the flip side, for the offense of the Golden Eagles, they've scored 264 points this year, an average of 33 a game. Coming out of the Trumbull timeout. Last year when these two teams met, by the way, it was a 34-0 victory for Staples, but Trumbull is a much different team now. There's Gallo. Straight draw. Has a lot of green in front of him and will go out of play inside the 40-yard line. You got 2 more timeouts, so you really can run one more time, then maybe try something in the air.
I just wasn't sure why the clock didn't stop.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he was out of play. Thought the clock should have stopped. The officials are meeting to talk about it.
Man, because Keith, I mean, his forward momentum was going out of bounds. He took himself out of bounds.
There was anywhere between 8 seconds and 11 seconds left on that clock.
10 seconds there flashing to the clock operator, because that play started with 22 seconds to go, and the kid's faster than that to get out of the pocket. It's not going to take 22 seconds to run out of bounds. So, I mean, it was right in front of us. I saw him go out of bounds.
Yep.
Just wasn't sure why the official wound the clock.
So we'll put the clock to 10.5 seconds.
Because the side judge wound his arm, but then he realized, then he blew the play dead.
Let's see if they go to Terrio, top of your screen.
Give him a chance.
Low snap. Gallo gonna air it out towards Terrio. Caught.
There it is.
Clock should stop there as well. Call your timeout and set up for another play.
Well, I tell you what,
That's a quick clock.
that's not 10 seconds in my book. It's 10.5 seconds.
Not sure where all the clock went. Bob Maffei wants more time on the clock.
And quite frankly, I
think they're going to add it on. So Bob Maffei goes over to talk it over with the officials. There's Bob. Now Mars Petraccio is going to try to get into the picture. They're going to say 4 seconds. I looked. I thought there was at least 3.
Yeah, they're giving him 4. I mean, as soon as he caught the ball, they were on it. Timeout. And
so now if you Trumbull, call another timeout. Get whatever play it is that you need.
it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, because the official time is kept on the field, and that's the important thing. So everybody's reacting to it, and whoever's running the scoreboard up in his box is not stopping the clock, is not looking at the official whine and, you know, do the arms crossed to stop the clock, because there's no way. I mean, that was, not sure how many yards that was on the catch. 30 yards on the catch, and I'm sorry, that's an insult to, if I'm Terrio, that's an insult to me saying I'm taking 10 seconds to run 30 yards down the field.
Agree with you. Been an interesting final, let's say 40 seconds.
But the key is, in my opinion, officials have this correctly. And that's the most important thing. The officials, again, in my opinion, have this right in terms of this time here.
Barring a defensive penalty, this will be the final play of the second quarter. The officials once again will talk things over. There's Mars Petraccio. Now Bob Maffei out there once again. Their lone loss this year came to Stanford 3 weeks ago. It was at a time when Stanford was hot. Stanford has played as well as of late. We will finally get our final play.
I go back to the same play. Give Terrio a chance.
Gallo has good blocking. To the air, has a receiver in and out of the hands of Terrio, and he may have had a score. Saw the defender coming hard towards him.
And I think he took his eye off the ball here, because he's down the seam. This is a great job by Gallo. Watch this. He jumps, short arms it just a little bit. Was going to take a hit, but should have had the catch and possibly could have spun off the hit.
Here's Chad with Coach Petraccio. Chad?
Yeah, Coach, despite the little fireworks at the end there, you guys are up by a touchdown going into half. Is this the type of game you expected?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've got a great defense. We've got a great defense. I just feel like, you know, we're fortunate to get out as the clock has stopped twice. You know, that's some sort of malfunction. Bottom line is to be up 7-0 right now. It's huge for us. We got to come out and play defense again because they're a very talented football team.
What type of adjustments are you looking at moving forward?
Well, I think we're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more, and we're going to have to stop this pass by then. This kid coming over the middle is it's tough for us right now.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Keith, take it away.
All right, Chad, thanks a lot. And, well, it is what we expected. Two of the best teams in the FCAC, two of the best defenses in the FCAC, showcasing their defensive skills. It is 7-0 in favor of the Wreckers. We step aside. Halftime action coming up. Keep it here. Back at Staples, the Wreckers with a 7-0 lead over the Golden Eagles of Trumbull. We check in once again with Chad Cutler.
John Dowdig, the principal of Staples High School. Tell us a little bit about Staples. What does this school have to offer?
Well, this is my 42nd year, and in my 7th year here, I came out of retirement after I learned what Staples is. It's an extraordinary school, among a handful of extraordinary high schools in America. And when I speak in public, one of the things I'm most proud of is that the town is willing to support every single program as if it were a varsity program. So if we're talking about an orchestra or a theater production, any one of our sports, the culinary arts program, it's all at the varsity level, meaning that we want the best program that will get the most out of kids so they can find themselves and be successful when they leave high school.
Is there anything coming up you want to tell us about any of these programs?
Well, we're doing Curtains, which was on Broadway 3 years ago with David Hyde Pierce, and it opened last night. I'm going tonight. And next weekend, if you're lucky enough to be able to get a ticket, you really ought to go and see it. I'm a theater guy. I did theater my whole life, and it's at a level that only a very few schools in America can even hope to achieve.
Well, let's hope for some good theater in the second half, huh? Keith, back to you.
All right, Chad, thanks a lot. And hey, first half highlights, and we'll see a lot of ground and pound.
Ground and pound. They come out the Wildcat. They don't start the freshman quarterback, Tyler Jacobs, doing this all in the first drive. A 9-minute drive that resulted in this Tyler Jacobs touchdown. Picked up a great block by Rob Gow. Opened up a huge hole. And for Trumbull, struggled early on, but for them, their offense has been all about Brian Gallo getting out of the pocket, scrambling, trying to pick up the first down. And towards the end of the half, can't find anybody out of the pocket. And this right here, Keith, gave him a chance at the end of the first half.
But ultimately, we take a look at these first half stats, Wayne, and you know the Wreckers with 114 rushing yards and nothing in the air. So the big donut there, but more importantly, they lead 7-0.
Absolutely. You know, you get to the halftime, you're not worried about the stats. Time of possession, you see there, evened off as Trumbull got back into the game. But the key stat of the game is 7-0. Staples at the half.
All right, let's step aside. Second half action coming up. Some of the youngsters watching on, enjoying the first half.